What is going on today, fam? So this is Braxton from beezybuilds, and we're back again today about to do some cool stuff on the EG. I know it's been a while since I have made a video, but we're back, and trust me, we got something cool. We actually have something really cool. So anybody that owns like a 90s era, you know, like golden era Honda, you know, or Acura, we all know there's a fear of theft, right? Common thing. But thankfully for us, there's some cool companies popping up, one of them being JDI, that makes some cool stuff for just like the security of your car. And like one of those things is their push start kit here. Their push start kit, which is really cool because it uses RFID technology, right? Which is pretty much like the electronic radio waves to communicate so with your car, to let it know, you know, that the keys are present and it's good to start. You know, kind of like with most new cars. So with the keyless start, it's the same exact technology. So it comes with these tags right there, and so these tags are paired with the specific push start system in your car. So that way, it's no longer gonna be a key ignition to start the car. It's going to be a push button start right here. And the way they've done this is super clean. Like just the way that everything gets installed, it looks super clean, looks really OEM, and it functions that way as well. So I'm gonna do a quick how-to with this, then from there I'll just go over like the functionality and just how it works. So let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and take off my steering wheel, just because it's going to give me a bit more room to work and make this whole process easier. Okay, so now that I got the steering wheel off, now we're going to go ahead and take off this lower kick panel right here. So the only thing that holds this kick panel on, you have 1, 2, 3 Phillips head screws, and then I think there's 2 or 3 clips, so you just have to pull down and then it'll come out. Okay, so I got that kick panel off right there. Came off super easy. Next thing we're gonna be doing is actually taking off the sort of column bezel. There are 2 screws here, and then there's 1 right here. Then from there, you just have to go to get the clips loose that hold it together, and then you'll be able to just pull it out. Whenever you're taking off this bottom one, it's kind of easier if you put this down that way, so you can just go to slide the bottom bezel out. But knock that out, and we're gonna get inside to the meat and potatoes of this install. So the most difficult part of this whole process is going to remove these 2 capture bolts right here. You got 1 right there, 1 on that side, right? They're like those safety ones, so they don't have a screw on them. So what you actually have to do, you have to take like a chisel like this, and then you got to kind of hit the edge of it with a hammer in order to loosen it up. So once you loosen it up, God, they won't focus. But once you loosen it up, it's pretty easy to spin on its own accord, because I already started this one. You can kind of spin this one by hand now. So like once you get them loose, then it'll come out pretty easily, and then you'll be able to drop just the whole ignition and take that out. Keep in mind though, if you're doing this, if you elect to remove your ignition, you no longer have your wheel lock that's gonna be present. But if you wanted to, you could drill a hole like here. Well, probably not there exactly, but you can mount your push start somewhere else that would make sense to you, and that way you could retain your actual wheel lock. But I don't need the wheel lock, so I'm gonna go ahead and ditch it. All right, so got those captured bolts out. All I did was just put it back up on the ignition, because I'm gonna save this. You never know, you might need to go back to stock. But yeah, all I did was, once I broke them free, I just used a chisel to kind of rotate it around, and they came out super easy. The next thing I did was I just went and took out these little, I'm not exactly sure what to call them, but they kind of like help to hold the wiring just out of the way. So got those out of the way there. Next, you need to go to remove these 2 brown plugs. So got 1 right here. Just pull that bad boy out, and then we got 1 up here. We're gonna pull that 1 out as well. So this is your just whole stock ignition there, so that's gonna go out of the way. The good thing about the JDI Push Start, it's literally all plug and play except for one wire that you gotta go to splice into your excuse me, to your brake pedal wire. But yeah, that's all. So this is going to be the harness that's going to go back in place of the connectors we just took out. You see it's labeled EG right there because it's car specific, and they make this push start for a whole bunch of different models. So if you have another platform that you're using, I'm positive they make a kit for you. So all we're going to do with this harness right here is go to plug it up where we took out the other plugs from, and then we're going to let it hang until we get ready to move on. Such a nice kit. Just seems so well thought out. The connectors are nice, like everything just jives really well. I like that about it. There we go. All right, got that in. There is a ground here that needs to be grounded out, just somewhere up on one of these bolts. So I'm gonna figure out just the best way I want to run the ground. But yeah, that's just gonna need to be grounded out. So I'll find a good place, maybe under here, something like that. We'll see. But I'll find a good place to ground it. But next stop, I'm actually going to go to install my button inside of the lower bezel right here. So it's perfectly sized, and it has these little prongs right there to make it super easy. Got this lower bezel. You can see where it says push at. All we're gonna do, put that wire harness inside there. Then we need to bend these tabs forward like that. It looks so OEM. That's what I like about it. I like how they went about this kit. So that is it installed. I wasn't sure about, I wasn't sure if it would be sturdy or not, but you know, so I threw some double-sided tape in there, but that shit didn't work. But I'm just gonna take that out. But it's held pretty secure in there. I don't feel like it's gonna come out or anything like that, but time will tell with just the vibrations and stuff if it does go to loosen up. But the fit is actually pretty good. It doesn't stand out too much, and I didn't even have to go to open up the hole in the bezel, which I didn't want to do. So good news there. So now we are going to be moving on. So my next step is time to go ahead and place the actual scanner, which I'm gonna place the scanner on this panel right here. I think that this will be best for this. I actually I have some double-sided tape I'm going to use that's pretty strong, so I think that will be good enough to go to hold it in place without it falling down or anything like that. So I'm gonna clean out this panel a little bit, get the dust off there, and then I'll go ahead and get the scanner stuck to the back. All right, so I got it mounted on the back of that panel. I use this like super heavy duty a Gorilla, a double-sided tape here. This stuff is great, like and it's water resistant as well. But I'm just gonna put a little weight on there to hold it there. But pretty much the way this is gonna work, so this panel usually is sitting like that in the car. So basically all I would need to do is, when I want to start the car, like that, and then it will be good to go. It will read it. So super duper cool, man. Super duper cool. Just that added layer of security. But let's keep on moving. We are almost done. Okay, so next thing we have to install is pretty much like a brake interrupt signal, and that's going to pretty much go to power up the system. Like, so pretty much if you press the brake, then that's going to go, I believe, to close the loop to allow power to go to the system, so it'll know that you're about to turn on the vehicle. At least that's my understanding. If you look here, there is a green and white wire right there. All we're gonna do is go to T into it, just using the supplied little T right there. And then And then we'll go to slide. So this piece right in there, and that will complete our connection. Then we can try to go for our first start. All right, y'all. So take 2 on the start. Had to figure it out. So yeah, I'll walk out through it. So right now, so the vehicle is armed. So like whenever I press the button or do anything, even if I'm holding the brake, it won't do anything. Like the vehicle's armed, I won't let it do anything. But when I come to scan the antenna, all right, so those 2 beeps. So now all I have to do is hold the brake and then just hold the button. Cool, like that. One of the things is though, you can only turn off the vehicle when you're holding the brake. So you have to hold the brake, then you can hit the button, and then the vehicle will turn off. After 50 seconds of the vehicle not doing anything, then it's going to automatically rearm itself. But if I just go and scan it one more time, so 1 beep means it's armed, so can't do anything. Press the brakes, try to do it, nothing happens. But if I disarm it, which is 2 beeps, I can just, so if I don't want to start the car but turn up my accessories, I don't press the brake, but I hold the button 1 time. And then that will turn on my accessories. Hence the radio. Then when I'm ready to turn on the car, just hold the brake, hold the button, and we're good to go. So that works pretty cool. That works pretty cool. I like it a lot. This is like super dope. I like the push button. It took a little while to get used to it. I was fumbling at first, but yeah, we G to G now. One of the things I think I'm gonna do is put back on my column lock, but just take everything off of it, so that way my my bottom bezel is securely bolted. I'll show you what I mean. All right, y'all. So this is it all installed with the bezel back put together. Looks pretty good. It's functioning the way it's supposed to. You know, if I just want to press it once to turn on the accessories, I can do that. But in order to start the vehicle, gotta press the brake. Make sure we're not in gear here. Just hold it. And then she starts on up. It has like that blue ring. Honestly, not the biggest fan of it, but it's not terrible either. Car looks pretty good. I like it. Turn the car off, gotta hold the brake, and then just press it 1 time, and then it'll kill it. After 50 seconds, the system automatically arms itself, so you can't start it or anything like that. But if you go to restart it before 50 seconds, then you just hold the brake and press the button, and then it cranks right on up. But yeah, man, pretty simple install, nothing too crazy. I actually really enjoyed this. I think it's cool. Adds that bit more, you know, a bigger layer of security. Honestly, if somebody wants to take your car, you know, they can still go in and do it. You know, this might make them take a little bit longer, but you know, just something that's another peace of mind. One thing I did do though, was I took the lock out of the stock like lock cylinder, and I took off the wire harness so I could put it back in. That way my bottom bezel was still supported. So I still have my lock cylinder in there actually. I just took off the wire harness and the actual lock cylinder itself. But yeah, man, so big shout out to JDI. I'm gonna have this product linked in the description if you guys want to grab one for your own vehicle. But yeah, man, take it easy. I'm out.
Yeah. Coach.